Master Ace, straight up and down on Drop a Gem with Speak No Evil and LEO. Real hip hop all day.
Dope.
Drop a gem on.
No question. As Elio mentioned a little while ago, we lost a couple of our legends and a couple of your peers in hip hop.
Yeah.
I want to throw a couple of names. I just want to, hear your thoughts and sentiments on them. If you've had a personal relationship with them or just from afar, if what you thought of them. Let's start with Shock G.
Yeah, man. I never really got to know Shock G that well. I feel like we definitely did a couple of dates together in the 90s. Like, I was cooler with his brother. And actually I interviewed with his brother on IG Live during the pandemic. But I didn't have a lot of interaction with Shock. Like I said, other than a few times in the early 90s, we bumped into each other out at a show or whatever. But it's still a huge loss to the industry. And the one thing I always respected was that he tried to do stuff different. He tried to do stuff his way, and he wasn't afraid, to kind of like push the envelope a little bit with his music and be a little bit different and a little bit weird, and the two songs, like all that kind of stuff like that. To me, that was like cool, and hip hop. That was when hip hop could really, you had the freedom to kind of just do really what you wanted to do.
What you like,
thing.
So to speak.
As opposed to following what everybody else is doing, and that's what I always respected about him. The whole digital underground movement. And it was still beats, it was still rhymes going on. Like that's the main thing. The Humpty character was like a funny character, but there was still rhyme. Even Humpty Hump was rhyming. He was saying some dope lines.
Facts.
So that's pretty much, shout to Money B.
No doubt. Shout to Money B indeed. Black Rob.
Man, Rob is a good dude, man. He I used to see him a lot, and it was always mad love. He was always real animated, and he was always, full of energy, and he was funny. I used to throw a party at this club in the late 90s, early 2000s. I used to throw a party called the Game Room down on Madison in Manhattan, and one of the main records that during that era was Whoa.
Right.
And I believe he came through one night just to say what up, you know what I'm saying? But I would run into him here and there. The last time I saw him was at the Awesome 2, I think it was their 20-year anniversary party where they had a few people perform, and that was my last time seeing him. And I'm glad we got to take a picture that night. I haven't posted the picture, but we took a picture that night, and he wasn't feeling well that night at all, and he still got on stage and did a little something. But I could tell he wasn't feeling that well.
Right.
And he had told me, I want to say it was probably like it was shortly after, like, the Bad Boy thing started to kind of fade out, and then, but it was still, Bad Boy was still on, but it was still a label, but he was trying to kind of like do this album with G Depp, and I remember him telling me, "Yo, me and Depp doing an album, and we're gonna call it Black and Depper," and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of dope. That's kind of dope." And he's like, "Yeah." I said, let me know. I want to hear these songs, because I'm a big G Depp fan, and I love what Rob does. So I was like curious to hear what the songs would sound like. I remember him saying like, "Yeah, one day come through, I'm play some joints for you," but it just never happened. And I wonder if they ever even started recording it,
or locked up in a Bad Boy vault somewhere.
Black and Depper.
Indeed. and then we'll end it off with with the legend DMX. Your thoughts on X?
Yeah, man. I met X 5 years ago. We had a show together. Well, it was his show. We didn't have a show together. DMX had a show. I was added onto the bill the last 2 weeks right before they added me onto the bill. So it was his show. It was going to be a packed event no matter what. It was in LA. It was at a venue called Observatory. Like I said, they added me. I was on tour, so I was going to be in LA on an off day, and they were like, yo, can we just add you? I was like, yo, add me, put me on. And I went up and did my set or whatever, and I could tell that the fans were just antsy because there was a few opening acts before me. And so I could tell when I got up there, like they were kind of like at that point of, all right, like, where's X? Like enough, So like maybe like second song in, I just told my DJ, let's cut to the chase. Let's just do these last two records and keep it moving because they ready for X. Like they're not interested in what's happening on stage right now. They want him. And so I did, I cut my show super short. I jumped off, and then backstage after his set, that was my first time ever meeting DMX. And he was super welcoming, very friendly to me. We took a flick together, just said a couple of quick words or whatever. But like it wasn't like some cats, backstage, like they kind of keep to themselves. They don't want nobody in their space. They got security kind of keeping people away. But he was like, nah, come here, Ace. I said, yo, I never met you. Took a couple pictures. It was cool, and the guy's catalog, is undeniable. The catalog, the songs, there's so many songs. You kind of lose count until you start hearing them back to back. Like during these tributes and stuff they've been doing.
Right.
It's so many records, man. Just so many records. So another crazy loss, man. Yeah. For the culture. I hope that some of our other, legends who have lived that rock and roll lifestyle or continue to live that rock and roll lifestyle into their 40s, just kind of come to grips with the fact that we're not 25 no more. Our bodies can't take that wear and tear, not getting proper sleep, eating crazy food, whatever type drugs and alcohol you're doing on a night by night basis on tour. Like our bodies can't do the same things that they used to do when we was in our 20s. And so hopefully there's some wake up calls for some of us. I hope.
Indeed.
I think just to go back to the music a little bit, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about one of the dopest Masta Ace songs to ever come about. And it came about in the last couple of years. It was a little John called Eat, produced by this producer. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He's called DJ Premier. It's got this other guy called Evidence from this group that laid people on it. This song's amazing. And I love the album. And then when this song came out of nowhere and you dropped this little beauty on us, I was like, yes, Primo, Masta Ace, and you said we're gonna throw Evidence on this too. Talk about the making of this record, how this finally came about, and the reception has been amazing about it, and I had to ask you. So as a fan,
so that song was supposed to be on the album. That was supposed to be on the album, but Primo is just busy, man. He's busy, and so we had our deadline, and we had missed a couple of deadlines trying to wait for that record. And then